What is your American dream?
My American dream is to have all the people in this country unite under the fact no racism, no discrimination, no people that make billions when other people are suffering.
For that people to have honest conversations, to care about each other, and to have equal rights.
My American dream is an America where we fully engage the ideals of freedom, liberty, and justice for all people, not based on the color of your skin tone, your access to money and resources, your ability to pay your way through a legal system or a litigious process to obtain something like health care.
I hope America will be one day like Martin Luther King fights so hard for equality. We are all the same. We are all the same. There's no race, there is no nationality, nothing. We are created by God and we are all the same, and that's what we have to be in this country.
My American dream is that this truly does become a place where we can all coexist and have liberty and justice for all.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
Groundhog Sam! Oh, bagels! Bagel Friday in the office! I love Bagel Fridays! I never knew about bagels till I moved to New York. I love them almost as much as pretzels! Ha 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 ha! Oh! Hi, everybody! Did you miss yesterday's episode of Brad Show Live? Well, if you did, you missed a really crazy show. Everything froze. Technically, for once, it was not Groundhog Sam's fault. There was no wire chewing on my end at all. But it was a really cool show. It was a blast from the past because Brad just answered questions, and he had so many. He answered 2 hours straight of people's legal immigration questions. Quite amazing. Quite a feat. Brad knows his stuff. What a genius. Glad I'm his campaign manager for 2020. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, you know we've been playing lots of share games, so I came up with one myself. If we get 700 shares on today's show, then we will spin this golden barrel right here with the Brad Squad's names in it, and the lucky winner will be incorporated into my next Groundhog Sam skit. Ha 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 ha. Now that's a prize for ya. I'm gonna do a little research about the winner, and I'm gonna end up doing a whole little skit about them. I'm excited because that way I get to know more about the Brad Squad individually. You guys are all amazing. What's on today's show? Well, you'll just have to watch and see. 700 shares, people.
Hello! I was just making a face at Sam because I said he just... How come I'm out of the picture? Come back. Push him back. Push him back! Here we go. Oh, nobody told me about this either.
What do you mean about
this
that?
This is very big over here. Hello, everybody! My name is Brad Bernstein. That's what they call me. Bradford H. Bernstein is on my birth certificate. I was born in New York City at 2:08 in the morning on September 27th, 1968.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time. And I grew up in Long Island.
Yeah.
In a town called Roslyn.
Roslyn.
Right.
Okay.
I went to a high school by the name of Wheatley High School.
Okay.
I went to college, university in the middle of America, a place called University of Michigan.
Right.
When I graduated the University of Michigan, I got a scholarship at Brooklyn Law School.
Yeah.
They paid 50% of my tuition.
Wow.
Because they said I was a pretty smart guy. They wanted me to come.
50%? That's a pretty smart
They
man
did.
indeed.
They gave me 50% off.
That's huge.
Right. Tuition.
Huge.
Free. It was a scholarship.
That's fantastic.
That's what they called it. And the key thing, the key thing was that I had to stay in the top 10% of my class in order to maintain the scholarship.
Whoa.
And I did.
Of course you did.
And I graduated.
Not surprised.
And right after graduation, Brooklyn Law School,
Yeah.
I was not even 24 years old yet.
A wee lad.
A wee lad.
A wee lad.
A wee lad.
Yeah.
Not a pea lad, but
Not
a wee lad.
A wee lad.
Yes. And I went to Europe
Yeah.
for the summer.
Okay.
And when my money ran out,
Which was, I'm assuming, fairly quickly.
yes, I started in England and made my way through
Uh-huh.
Belgium
Ah.
and France and Italy. And I winded my way down to an island called Mykonos, Greece.
Oh, yes.
And this is the summer of 1993.
Okay.
And money ran out, and I had a plane ticket.
That's how it goes.
I came back.
And then what?
That was August
Yeah.
of 1993.
Okay.
We are now in August of 2018.
Uh-huh.
2 days after I came back from that trip in Europe.
Oh.
2 days.
25 years and 2 days.
I began to work for a gentleman by the name of Harry Spar. Everyone always wants to know who Harry Spar was. Harry Spar was my mom's father. Now, he was always a very nice grandfather.
Uh-huh.
Always a very nice man.
Yeah.
You know, but growing up out in Long Island, it's not like I saw him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He would come by on holidays.
Right.
You know, on my birthday, he'd, get on the telephone. There was no texting back then. Try to make a conversation with me. And as like a teenager, I'd be like, yes, no,
Right.
yes, no.
Right.
But then I
Fine.
began to work for him
Uh-huh.
in August of 1993.
Mm-hmm.
That was 25 years ago. Sometime in this month. I don't know what the exact day was. I don't remember.
Okay.
But I know 25 years ago to this month was the day that I began my career at what was then the law offices of Harry Spar, simply because I ran out of money in Mykonos, Greece. True story.
Right,
Right,
and
I had to-
25 years
and I had
later.
to come back. I had to come back to make some money.
Right.
So all I had was, I literally got back. I was on the plane. I'll never forget. I was on an airplane because I had the return plane ticket I bought before I left.
Yeah.
With like $4 in my pocket.
That's
And that was my entire net worth at the time. The $4 in my pocket.
That $4 whole.
Yes, and I had to have my mom pick me up at the airport because I couldn't afford a taxi. I had no money. It's a true story.
I feel like you've done pretty well for yourself,
and
Brad.
my mom picked me up.
Uh-huh.
And she said to me, son? I said, yes, Mom. She says, you graduated law school? I said, yes. She said, we ain't supporting you anymore. Best of luck. That was it.
Godspeed.
Godspeed. So I said, holy cow, I better start working.
Yeah.
And that was 25 years ago at some time this month. Absolutely, absolutely a true story. And I was just thinking about that. I'm like, wow. I've been a lawyer now 25 years practicing law. Started in August of 1993. I didn't even.
Wow.
I was supposed to make it through Labor Day in Europe and then come back and look for a job.
And that didn't.
But when I went through all my money and I came back and I was broke, and my mom said that she would not support me anymore, I called up Grandpa, who was a lawyer.
Right.
And I said, I need a job.
Yeah.
And here I am 25 years later. I didn't know at the time when I was going to take that job in August of 1993 that 25 years later I would be doing this show. I would be helping hundreds of thousands of people with their immigration help. You know, when you're 23 years old, you don't think about what it is you want to do for the rest of your life and the rest of your career, and where you're going to make a mark in your life, and where you're going to say, you know what, I'm going to make a difference in the world. You don't think about that. You think about partying in Europe somewhere.
Right, exactly.
You're like, and then you come back from Europe and you say, hey, you know what, I don't have any money anymore. And then you just start going to work. And from going to work day after day, week after week, month after month, learning the immigration trade. I'm now 25 years later, and here I am every day answering everybody's immigration questions.
Man, I love that story, because you know what I really get from that?
What?
I really get that a sad Brad Bernstein with $4 in his pocket.
It was not a sad Brad
Never
Bernstein.
sad?
It was a poor Brad Bernstein.
Right, but like to go from that, having no idea what you're going to end up doing, you know you're going to go be a lawyer, but like you're not sure, to 25 years later, hundreds of thousands of people helped, and you would have never known that that's the position, that's where you would have ended up when you were on that flight.
And I'll even tell you one more.
We're gonna get a deeper dig.
We're gonna get go deeper into the story.
I'll give you the deep dive.
So it was August 1993, and I started working here as a paralegal because although I had graduated law school, and I had passed the bar exam, I had still not gone for when you pass the bar exam and you graduate law school, you have to go for an interview where they interview you before they give you a license to be an attorney. I had not gone on my interview yet, so I was actually hired originally as a paralegal doing everybody's paperwork, their forms.
Right.
And I did that for about 4 months until I got my interview to be a lawyer, and I got admitted to be a lawyer in January of 1994. So I actually didn't start here as a lawyer. I started here as a paralegal.
As a paralegal.
Right.
Man.
And at the time, it was Harry Spar, who was my grandfather.
Right.
And he was a practicing immigration lawyer for 30, 40 years prior to that. He was practicing immigration law since 1958.
Right.
Which is how we always, put it on our on our materials that we give out to people.
Right.
But in January of 1994, about 10 days after I got admitted to actually be an attorney, Grandpa fell. You know that story.
I've heard this story,
Right, at Lincoln Center.
Right.
He went to see a show at Lincoln Center. If anyone knows New York City, it's a very famous, theater on the Upper West Side. He fell at some show. I don't know whatever he was seeing.
Right. Went to the opera.
What it was, opera, ballet. I don't know, something.
Right.
I don't do opera, so I don't know what's there. I don't like the opera.
Love opera.
Right. I don't understand it. They're singing in a different language.
There's subtitles usually.
Okay. I don't do it. So anyway, he went.
Yeah.
I was not there. He fell.
Right.
And he broke his leg, and then it was left to me. There was nobody else in the firm.
Right.
There was no other admitted attorney in the firm, but Brad, who was 2 weeks admitted.
Into being a lawyer.
Right. It wasn't a law firm. He was just basically a solo practitioner with a secretary. And then I just started practicing law, and here I am.
My God.
25 years later. That's a true story.
With 50 employees and
more than 50 employees.
More than 50 employees now.
Yes. So and a live digital Facebook show 2 hours a day.
With tens of thousands of people watching on a weekly basis.
On a weekly basis. And it all came to me because I was just saying to Lenny, who's our firm administrator, I said, wow, because she was saying to me, I've been here 20 years. And I said, I've been here longer. And then when I counted it, I didn't realize until that conversation about an hour ago before we got on the air that, wow, I'm hitting my 25th month here.
This is not only are you hitting, it's a double anniversary. Because it's your
25th year.
Right.
Thank you very much. If it was my 25th month, I would be some liar telling everybody.
Your problem.
Yes, Bob, I've got 2 years experience. I'm fabulous.
I know everything there is to know.
Yes, I know everything there is to know. 25 years, not 25 months.
Yeah.
What anniversary is this for you, Belgium Kim?
No, it's actually not the anniversary for me, but you said 1958. It's also the 60-year anniversary of the firm.
It is it?
1958.
1958, correct.
We need a 60th anniversary and a 25th anniversary duo celebration is what I think you just told me.
Maybe.
I incepted it.
And do you know what else is coming up in October? The 1-year anniversary of our live digital show from our studio.
I know, October 16th. This is going to be so exciting.
That's
Get
right.
ready.
And you know what also is happening on September 27th?
I do know what's happening that day. It's his birthday.
Turning 50.
It's a big one.
Turning 50.
Oh, it's going to be amazing.
It's very sad.
Are you really sad about that?
Yes.
Why?
Because I don't feel 50.
Even more reason to be not
I feel like I'm 30.
Yeah, but could you imagine if you were turning 50 and you're like, I feel 50? Don't you?
I was just having a conversation with an unknown person in this office. I don't want to call that person out today. But that person knows who I'm talking about and is watching.
Who that person is.
Right, and we were just both saying to each other,
yeah,
we feel a lot younger than we really are.
If I
Right?
am thinking of the correct people, of the correct person, hypothetically, I would say 1,000,000% agree with that. If anything, the two of you together are probably some of the hippest people I know, period.
That is right. So with that being said, we got to say hello to some of our young people, some of our old people. I even see people calling me out saying, like Lisa Bling Rose just called me out and said, Brad, you're getting old,
You're getting
man.
old, she did.
Yeah, I
was
saw that.
hoping you
Thanks,
would
Lisa.
scroll past
Yeah,
that.
thanks, Lisa. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right, so say hello to Burke Madera, who's just saying hello to Sam, and Asset Lindo, Clyde Bernard, Dionne Watson, Wendy Brown, who is now one of my favorites.
Why is she one of your favorites?
Because she says, hi, Brad, the best lawyer in the world.
Ooh, that is favorites
Yes,
territory.
that is favorite territory. So thank you very much, Wendy Brown, Marge Higgs, and Dionne Watson, Tamika Nelson, Carrie Ann Wallace-Glenn saying hello. Anna Tomarevsky says, hello, Brad Squad. Great show to everyone. And it's very true because this show doesn't work without the squad. There would be no show without a squad.
That's true.
Okay? It would be a very boring show without the squad. The squad makes the show. Mm-hmm. All right? They are not bit players in the Brad show.
No.
They are right there, stars of the show, along with everybody in front of the camera as well. Carrie Ann Wallace-Glenn, Asset Lindo. Who else? Who else is a star here? Carol Anderson, the Tiger.
Yvonne Steele.
Yeah.
Nicola
Shauna?
Kramer hasn't been in a while.
Who?
Nicola Kramer.
Oh, yeah. What happened to her?
Well, she's back to
She's back. Hello.
Hello.
Barbara Lord, how you doing? Tanisha McNabb. And who else? Wendy Brown, we said. Wendy Brown saying hello to everybody. Yvonne Steele. Wendy Brown must have had at least 50 comments already going on here. Dawn Harriet and Rob J. Roberts. He says 700 is the benchmark.
700 is the benchmark.
Okay,
She's
so
right.
this is the deal, folks. You heard Sam. We will make somebody in the Brad squad a star.
Yeah.
You will be a star.
Yep.
Okay.
Fact.
You will make Beyonce look like also a star. You will be equivalent.
You and Beyonce will seem like colleagues.
Will be like it'll be very hard to determine.
Right. It could be you. It could be Beyonce.
That's how big that Sam is going to make you because he's going to feature you for a 3-minute to 5-minute or however long Sam decides, introduction video about you and Sam. And we're going to come up with some funny, ridiculous story to put you in the video with Sam. And all you got to do is get to 700 shares.
Yep.
And then, but wait a second.
But wait.
There's
more.
There's more. Because I don't want to be yelled at by Tamika Nelson again.
No.
There will be no more yelling to me by Tamika.
No.
Last time we went like this with the thing, Tamika was
very
flipping
angry.
out.
We cannot face
Very
that
angry.
wrath again.
I will not face it.
No.
So we will come up with a way to feature the people who first of all, this is what we're going to do. I have an idea.
Because yeah.
I've got it.
You've got it. Brad's got it, y'all.
Look at the big brain.
Look at the big brain on Brad.
This is what we're going to do. Okay. 2 things.
Jeez. Okay.
Okay.
Ready.
2 things.
Yeah.
1. We got to get to 700 shares today.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm going to ask Groundhog Sam to count. Like, for instance, Wendy Brown must have commented 20 times already. Okay? In order to be in the running, in the barrel.
In the barrel.
In the barrel that goes like this.
Yeah.
You would have had to have made at least 2 comments today.
Okay.
On Facebook or YouTube.
Okay.
If we reach 700 shares and you have made at least 2 comments in a comment section of either Facebook or YouTube, then you will be in the bin.
Yep.
You will be in the bin.
Yep.
And then no one can say, hey, they didn't watch the show.
They didn't watch that day. Right.
Or they were not involved in that show.
Right.
They don't deserve it.
They didn't pull their weight with the 700.
They didn't pull their weight with the 700.
None of those complaints.
No complaining.
Nope.
2 comments, 700 shares.
Yep.
And you're in the contest.
And you're in the contest.
How's that?
That's very fair.
Huh? Is that a fair?
It's fair.
Fair. So it's not going to be the entire Brad squad.
Nope.
It's only going to be the Brad squad that makes 2 comments today, plus 700 shares, and we will feature you wherever you are in this world. Mm-hmm. We have the technology, we have the know-how to feature you in some cockamamie, crazy, funny, ridiculous story with Groundhog Sam.
Yeah. We will do that.
We will do it.
We will do it.
We got to get to 700 shares. You think anybody's interested in that?
I think I would be very interested in that. I haven't been a focus of a Groundhog Sam skit. I'm wondering if I can play, because I'll share away. I'll share, and I'll definitely.
Why don't you share
two
too?
Comments.
Because if you make more than 2 comments, you're in it too.
I already did. I already left my 2 comments.
You'll be in it too. All right, so you'll be in it too.
Yes.
You will be in it as well.
Take you down, Brad Scott. I'm just kidding.
Right.
I hope one of
you
you
think
guys
you think Yo-Yo's watching? Because if he's not watching, and he's not going to be in it.
I can guarantee you that no matter where in this world Yo-Yo is, he's watching Brad Show live.
You think so?
I really think so.
Unless he's drinking too much today.
No, that happened probably last night when the show was on.
Okay.
He's too hungover today. What else can he do but watch Brad Show live?
All right. Tamika Nelson says she has made more than 2 comments already.
She has.
That means she's in the running.
And she's not wrong.
Marge Higgs, for example, has made more than 2 comments.
She has.
But we got to get to 700 shares.
We got to get to 700.
Carol Anderson, the Tiger, has made more than 2 comments. She'll be in it too.
She's in it.
Provided we get to 700 shares. Wendy Brown has made, I don't know, like 10,000 comments already. She's in it. Who else has made multiple comments? Jella Shauna, I know, has made multiple comments. She'll be in the running,
Carol
right?
Anderson, the
It's
Tiger.
very simple. It's a very simple thing.
It's so
right?
simple.
So simple, we should have thought about it before. I don't know why we did it.
Because we're just that good.
David Gabriel, he's in it. I just saw 2 comments by him.
Yep.
Right?
He is here.
Burke Madera.
Burke has left more than 2 comments.
And Burke says, no show without a share contest.
You know what I really like? I really like Caston Redwood. Caston Redwood said, we need 800 shares.
Wow.
Caston,
800 shares? There's 800 shares? The Groundhog Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know what Groundhog Sam. We're going to get to 700. Let's not get crazy.
Let's
not get crazy here.
I don't like what your face looked like.
I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it, and then I said, you know what? Jill would come in here, and literally, there was like a week ago where Jilly Bean.
Yeah.
You know who she is,
I'm
right?
familiar with the Jilly Bean.
Okay. She was, first, Hasselhoff gets married.
I mean, that's
then the TriCaster blows up.
Another heartbreaking
Then she gets mad at me.
Yeah.
And then I said, oh my God, if I was about to say what I was about to say, she would have come in here. And then you would have said, oh, Jilly would strike. She would have just come and just punched me in the face.
She may have. But you know what? You almost should have said it just for the ratings.
I would have just got punched. It would have been good ratings, though, to get punched by the executive producer.
Exactly. Like that. I see the headline, the title of the YouTube video.
By the way, Carol Anderson, the Tiger, says we should get to 1,000. 1,000 shares.
You guys... Listen, if you guys make 700 easy.
We get to 1,000 shares. Jilly said, just in my ear.
Yeah.
If we get to 1,000 shares, she'll come in here and punch me in the face.
And punch you in the face?
Yes. She says, but only. All right, so this is the story. Okay? If you want to be in a video with Groundhog Sam, we have to get to 700 shares. You got to make 2 comments.
Yeah.
If you just want to see me get punched in the face by my executive producer, you don't even have to make a comment. Just share it to 1,000 times.
Jill is going to stop producing in there, and she's just going to share.
Because she's wanted to punch me all week in the face. And she's like, that's a good reason to punch Brad in the face. 1,000 shares.
Bring in the troops. Oh, man. The YouTube video is like executive producer punches host in face on live television. Yes, that would be
viral, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Guys.
All right. So Sweet Destiny Hansel wants to know what she's missing. Can you just fill her in quickly what she's missing and ask people to share?
Absolutely.
Okay. First of all, this is my 25th anniversary. You'll go through the whole show.
Yeah.
So because she just came in, and of course we have to stop everything and let her know what she has missed.
Stop.
Okay. All right. So that way she's caught up.
Right.
And then we'll continue.
So.
All right. So go put the camera right there. Okay. Tell Sweet sweet
So
Destiny what
Brad
she
Show Live Brad gave us an update on his entire life up until the point that he became a lawyer, all culminating in the fact that it's just the 25th anniversary of him joining the, at that point, Law Offices of Harry Spar team. And then we revealed the new share game for today. The new share game for today is that if we get to 700 shares, and if you guys just push that little arrow and send it to and share it to different groups and friends and stuff like that, then we'll get to 700 shares and you will get your name entered in the drum for a chance to win a feature in the Groundhog Sam skit. If you do 2 comments. So 700 shares, 2 comments from you, your name is in the drum to be featured in a Groundhog Sam skit. But if you share 1,000 times, Sweet Destiny, now you and all the Brad Squad put together 1,000 times, and Jilly Bean, our executive producer, will walk in this studio at the end of the show and punch Brad Bernstein right in the face.
And by the way, Cece says it better be a good punch. No, Cece, I disagree.
I agree.
I disagree. There
No.
will not be a good punch. Maybe she'll miss.
No, I want to see.
Like
okay.
right in the face, like
Have
a broken
you seen
nose.
Jill does not miss if
Like
she
a
punches
broken
someone.
nose.
Yeah, I want like her whole weight back
Like
into
right.
it, her whole weight forward.
No!
I want the whole,
No, not the whole weight.
The whole weight.
No!
I want a proper stance.
No.
Yeah.
I got to agree with Ron J. We're not promoting violence here, are we? Ron J says, are we promoting violence?
It's like a friendly, strong punch.
Cece has to be a good punch and not a fake one.
Right. Much like strong back.
Look at
it's a
that.
strong,
I'm going to tell you
friendly
something.
punch.
I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah.
People love violence.
They do. We're going to get to 1,000 by 6:30.
Yeah, within 20 minutes. At 998, I'm going to be like, all right, goodbye. See ya. Good night, everybody.
Signing off and
Signing
running for my
off.
life.
Yes. All right. And Jella Shore does not want to see that. Thank you,
Aw.
Jella. Right.
That's sweet, Jella.
Right.
I want to see it.
Yeah, I bruise easily.
I can see that.
Bruise.
I bruise like a peach, don't
Yes.
hurt me.
Yes.
I see that.
Right. Yeah.
But can you imagine how much character you would have on Monday? You would
That
show
is
up with a
correct.
big black eye.
Right. What was that movie with Eddie Murphy? He goes, I bruise on the inside. I don't bruise on the outside. I bruise on the inside.
Is that bit?
Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait
Yeah,
a second.
that might
Wait
be
a second.
better.
Wait a
That
second.
might be
Wait. Ask the Brad Squad this because Jill just asked me in my ear.
Jill just-
says, would you prefer
Yeah.
to be tickled to death or punched once?
Wait, but she asked you a
Do you
question.
want Jill?
I
I
wanna
am
know
very
the answer.
ticklish.
You are
I am
very ticklish.
yes.
Okay. Brad is very ticklish. Would we rather see Brad tickled or punched? This is the
I think
greatest
Burke just
Friday
wants
ever.
to see Brad punched. Burke's like, I'm just imagining Brad taking a punch right in the face.
Yeah, and you've never been in a fight, right? Would this be the first time you've gotten
It-
punched in the face?
It would be, yes.
Oh, you got.
It would be.
I don't know which one I prefer.
Right, look at that. We're at 200 chance already.
Maybe I can tickle you while Jill punches you. You won't even feel the punch.
Oh, boy. We're at 202 and counting.
Yes,
Brad's
family.
getting punched. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah.
What do you think, Brad Squad? Tickled or punched? I want to know in the comments
Yeah.
for real. That's amazing.
All right. Forget the schmoozing.
Oh, that's gonna be amazing. I'm gonna hold you down while Jill tickles you. It's gonna be the greatest moment.
Well, maybe they want to see me punched instead.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Willie Williams is like, hit him. Well, everyone just wants to see the violence.
I think they
Yeah.
want to see you get
They
punched.
just want to see me get punched.
Yeah, they'll vote for you for president, but they also
They
want
wanna
to
see me
sucker
get
punch you a
sucker
little.
punched. Everyone's like, no one wants to see me tickled. They just want to see me punched.
Oh, Asset Lindo said tickled.
Tickled. All right, thank you, Asa.
She's the only one. though.
Oh, Nicole Kramer says tickled also.
Okay.
All right.
I know Denisha John would say tickled.
Yeah. All right. So let's get to a little schmooze quickly. Oh,
Uh-oh.
I forgot to say something.
You forgot to say something.
Please share, because it's also caring time.
Right.
All right. It's not just watching me get tortured by either tickling or punched. Okay? But it's also a caring thing to share and care. And also, I just want everyone to know that starting next week, after our show is over at 7:30, when we sign off, we're going to do a new show, Brad After Show. Brad Show After? What are we calling it? We had a name for it, and I forgot now.
The after show. The Brad Show Live after show.
Brad Show Live after show after dark.
Are we doing it after? I mean,
no, we're not. It may be after dark. It depends what we
what
say.
kind of immigration questions we answer.
Yeah, and Kirsten Redwood said the thing called punch. Sorry, bro. So, and Lynn Brown wants to see the punch also.
Eris B said, "Finally, I'm on." She's about to jump into a
Yes.
weird show already. Eris, would you rather see Brad tickled or punched? This is what's at hand right
Dawn
now.
Harriet wants a kiss on the cheek.
That's beautiful, but nobody's going to share 1,000 times for a kiss on the
to
cheek.
see Jill kiss me on the cheek,
Yeah.
people would share 5,000 times.
That's true. That's a 5,000.
That's a 5,000 share game. All right,
man.
so
Are we getting up there? Are people sharing?
yeah, people are sharing.
Yeah, they are.
So this is what we're gonna. So we're gonna come back live on YouTube after starting Monday at 7:30. We're gonna start a second show on YouTube. So for everybody out there, if you have not subscribed to YouTube, please do it so you get that subscription so you know when we come back live. It's to be about like 5 minutes or so after our other show closes down, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, whatever it is to rewind whatever we need to rewind.
Right.
So please go to YouTube either now or over the weekend, and please subscribe to Brad Show Live. That way you can catch us on the after show on YouTube.
Exactly.
Right?
A little special extra.
A little extra. Mm-hmm. That was a little extra.
Well, we are a little extra.
Listen, getting punched in the face is a little extra.
That's pretty extra, Brad.
That is pretty extra.
That's pretty extra.
And Marge Higgs, 239 shares in 10 minutes.
I love this.
You love this.
So much.
I don't. I opened up my big mouth for nothing.
I will be honest. There's a slightly more vocal crowd that says punch, but I actually.
Christy Gonzalez says Brad's getting punched today. How is this going to work out?
You're the one that suggested it.
How is this getting worked out?
Listen, so far I'm noticing that there is a vocal bunch that says punch, but I think the majority says tickle.
Right. Okay. So this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
All right. First of all, this weekend, if there should be any punching, all right, in all seriousness, this is also the 1 year anniversary. I'm going to get into our schmooze now, but this is the 1 year anniversary of the white nationalist rally in Charlottesville, Virginia.
Okay, yeah.
And they are now having, the Nazis are coming back again this weekend. They never actually left us, but they're coming back together as a group.
Right.
And they will be holding a Nazi rally across from the White House on Sunday. Oh. Now, we don't know which members of the White House will be coming out to join them.
I was just about to say.
I would be curious to see what members of the White House would be coming out to join them.
Well, the president is the keynote speaker, I'm
yeah,
sure.
I don't know. But the Nazi rally is going to be countered by 40 anti-racism groups who will also be counter-protesting them this weekend as well in Washington, D.C.
Fantastic.
A state of emergency has been declared for both Charlottesville and the entire state of Virginia.
Oh, wow.
And all of this came about because they wanted to remove a statue of General Robert E. Lee, who was the general of the Confederate Army who represented the South during the Civil War. Tried to secede from the United States of America because the South wanted to continue slavery.
Right.
And there is a memorial for Robert E. Lee, who was the Confederate general in Charlottesville, Virginia. And eventually, thank God, 200 years later, they said, maybe we shouldn't be commemorating a guy who was fighting Abraham Lincoln to continue slavery.
Right.
And then the Nazis came out and said, no, we should be doing that.
We love the statue of people.
We love the statue of those.
Right.
So that's what's happening, unfortunately, in our society today.
I can't believe that.
Yes.
It's heartbreaking.
In South Carolina, in Element Electronics, they were a company that employed 126 people. It's been around for a very long time. They are now going out of business because of the Trump tariffs. This is on top of, and they're in Fairfield County.
Yeah.
This is on top of Walmart closing in that town. And they also lost 5,000 construction jobs after the government decided not to build 2 nuclear reactors near the area as well.
Oh my God.
So unfortunately for the Trump-loving county,
Right.
because this was a Trump-loving county, Fairfield County in South Carolina,
Yeah.
you got what you paid for,
Exactly.
right? Buyer beware.
He's doing exactly what he said he was going to
Yes. So, and these people voted for him.
do. And yep.
Disgraced Arizona Sheriff having trouble talking today.
That's okay.
Disgraced Arizona Sheriff Joe Arpaio.
Yes.
You know her. You know him.
I do know him.
So, and you know Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh, love Sacha
Right?
Baron Cohen.
Sacha Baron Cohen. He did Borat.
Yeah.
Right? He did Bruno.
He did Bruno.
Right?
Funny.
He did that HBO thing when he was Ali G.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Ali
Ali
G.
G as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a comedian, and he dresses up, and he does these outrageous, beyond outrageous, satirical characters to point out the hypocrisy, the racism, and everything else in not only in America but around the world. He interviewed for his new show, Who is America, and it's basically a prank show. Sheriff Joe Arpaio. He dressed up as a Finnish YouTuber, and there he is dressed up as a Finnish YouTuber. And in reference to the Trump dossier, where apparently the Steele dossier, where apparently there were some Russian hookers,
right? The golden
who peed on Donald Trump during the Miss America pageant in Moscow.
Right.
He asked Sheriff Joe Arpaio. Now remember, this is the guy who's anti-immigrant, takes all the immigrants who he arrests and puts them in boot camps before handing them over to immigration. He's a terrible, terrible guy.
Mm-hmm.
He went to jail for 6 months for abuse of power as a sheriff and a police officer, and President Trump pardoned him and released him from jail despite the fact that he violated so many people's rights.
Right.
So Sacha Baron Cohen, he dressed up as this Finnish YouTuber, and he asked Sheriff Joe Arpaio, do you think that President Trump got the golden shower?
Right.
And to which the sheriff replied, wouldn't surprise me.
Are they friends?
So then,
like they're friends.
I guess. So Baron Cohen then asked the sheriff, if Donald Trump calls you up after this and says, Sheriff Joe, I want to offer you an amazing blowjob.
Oh, no.
Would you say yes?
Oh, no. No.
And Sheriff Joe Arpaio says, I would say yes.
No!
You can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. So this apparently is going... So now he's known for illegally detaining Latinos, keeping inmates in brutal jail conditions. He went to jail for this.
And then he...
Yeah.
Wow, that is...
Wow. Meanwhile, I wanted to show this yesterday, but we had a problem with our machinery. Okay, but a mall in China tried to bring a giant panda mascot into the mall to promote the mall. Problem was that the panda couldn't fit into the elevator. If we could show the video, it just made me laugh. Oh, we only have a picture of it. They couldn't fit the. Oh, we don't have the video of it, unfortunately. Oh, all right. Well then, all right. We'll move on.
But there's a picture of the panda attempting to squeeze into the elevator as well.
All right, there he is, trying to squeeze into the elevator. They couldn't do it. They were like pushing him in. They eventually got some like Vaseline or something and had to like squeeze him into
That's how they got
That's
him.
how they did it, yeah.
That poor panda.
Poor panda.
Why not just get the man out of the suit and put the suit by itself in... I get that that's going to blow the illusion a little bit, but there's a dude inside there.
Right, yeah. Why don't you just take the panda out, put the man in, and then put him in the suit when he gets up the elevator?
Exactly. Like, let's just take this up into parts.
They literally squeezed him through with the Vaseline. So anyway,
those word pictures didn't do them justice yesterday.
So for those of you who were looking forward to Donald Trump's Walk of Fame star on the famous Walk of Fame in Hollywood coming out.
It's top of my bucket list.
It was voted by the Hollywood City Council to take him off of the Hollywood Walk of Fame as star because people were literally taking axes and beating his star and trying to break it.
As they should.
But apparently, his star is going to be there for life.
Oh no.
And the reason is that the Hollywood Walk of Fame is a registered historic landmark. And as such, once a star has been added to the walk, it is considered to be a part of the historic fabric of the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And because of this, it is illegal to remove the star, even though people slam it with axes. And people and the city council asked to have it removed.
Right.
They will continue to destroy the star and continue to repair it for the rest of eternity.
What I find really funny is that some terrible people have stars.
Yes, and as Jill mentioned in my ear, at least Trump is now creating jobs for somebody because the construction people have to keep replacing it.
He's keeping them busy, that's true.
So where are we at with shares? Am I getting punched in the face today or not?
You know what, Brad? If they keep going at the rate they're going, you may just get punched in the face. We are at 284 shares so
200,
far.
okay, so 700 shares and 2 comments. There we are. 700 shares and 2 comments will get... There we are. 700 shares and 2 comments will get you in our Groundhog Sam video next week. You and Sam in some cockamamie video. Mm-hmm. In some weird thing.
Yep.
That ends up in Sam saying, watch what's happening on the show today. Yeah. But you will be featured in it. But you got to make 2 comments to show you're part of the Brad Squad today. 1,000 shares. Well, anything could happen. Anything could happen with 1,000 shares.
I think Natalie Nichols just joined because she said, why should he get punched?
Yeah, exactly. Why should I get punched?
So Natalie Nichols, if the choices are punched or tickled, it sounds like you're going with tickled by default.
Yeah, I don't want to get punched.
Well,
stop sharing, please. although I will say this.
Yeah.
All right, as great as Jill looks, I have not known her to go be a gym rat. So how strong could her punch be?
Oh, I don't think you want to find out, Brad.
How strong could her punch be?
Jill's pretty scrappy. I don't even hear her. I'm just
Jill
hearing
goes, Brad, keep it up, and that punch is getting stronger by the moment.
I was just about to say, she's going to go full stance for her whole weight. Go, Jilly Bean, go! I'm Team
Wait,
Jill on
Natalie
this one.
Nichols wants Jilly Bean to give me a lap dance. That sounds better.
That's not okay.
That
no,
sounds
I have
better.
a feeling like Jilly Bean's husband.
That would only happen, first of all, that would only happen on
Bradshaw Live After Dark.
Or Hump Day.
Or Hump Day.
Right.
Either way, we have places for that.
And then at that point, it would be Jill's husband coming and punching me, and not Jill.
Oh.
And I'd rather take Jill's punch than her husband's punch.
Especially if he's going to be your running mate in
That's
the Bernstein
right,
2020
yes.
election. We're starting with fire already.
All right, so now we're gonna get into your immigration questions. We're gonna get very serious here and try to answer as many immigration questions as we can. It is 6:20 right now. We're going to answer immigration questions for the next 20 minutes or so. So call right now, 1-800-529-5465. We don't have all of our graphics today, so all of the fancy schmancy stuff, we're still having problems, but at least we're coming to you live. But please call us right now with your immigration questions, 1-800-529-5465. Annette in Brooklyn. Annette, how are you?
Hello?
How are you, Annette?
I'm okay.
What's happening?
I have a question. I've
Yes.
been on public assistance for over 10 years, and I got my... Hello?
I'm listening to you. Hello?
Yeah, hello?
I'm listening to you. You've been on public assistance for over 10 years.
Yes, and I got my green card from the state. I was awarded it because I was a ward of the state.
Right.
And I'm wondering if I can go ahead and file my citizenship since
Absolutely.
I am
Absolutely. As of this moment, as of this day, there is no public charge issues with becoming a citizen. Now, Donald Trump says he wants to change it in the future, but right now you should file your citizenship.
Okay, thank you, Brad.
You're very welcome. All right, so call right now, 1-800-529-5465. That's 800-529-5465. Dana in Queens, New York. Dana.
Hi, good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm good. Question is that my niece is here, and she's on vacation, her and her daughter. Her mom is citizen here, but she has some problems at back home that is in Trinidad. She wants to know, like, what step could she do for her daughter?
How old is she? How old is the daughter?
The daughter is 31, and her child is 12.
Okay, and she wants to bring the 31-year-old daughter or the 12-year-old grandchild?
The both of them are here in the U.S. on vacation, but she's having problems at back home, being that her common-law husband was shot dead.
Okay. So then what they should do is this. This is a question of how can I stay here longer? I don't know enough about them or their situation or what happened with the common-law husband who got shot dead. Obviously, it sounds like they were running for their lives at some level. So the best time to solve your immigration problems is not when you fall out of status, but when you are currently in status. So they should make an appointment to come see me, and we'll figure out what options they have. I don't know off the top of my head, but certainly we can go through all of their options. So hold on one second, all right? All right, 1-800-529-5465. We have 12 open lines right now. Apparently, a lot of people want to see me punched, but not a lot of people have immigration questions.
Do you know that YouTube has quite a lot to say as well?
Oh, yeah.
Javaria on YouTube just said, nah, nobody punches Brad. He's too much of a hero for anyone to do that to him.
Yes. I like that.
Hero might get tickled, though. Tickle, tickle, tickle.
What else are they saying on YouTube?
CS absolutely loved the Sheriff Joe's story. And they also said, you sound as cheerful as always. God bless your energy. Javaria is on it for you.
Thank you, Javaria.
Absolutely.
No, she doesn't want to see her boo get hurt.
No, she doesn't want to see. She wants to see.
I'm not her boo, but you know.
I mean, you're everybody's boo, Brad. Everybody knows that.
All right, let's go to Carmen in Kansas. Carmen.
Hey, Brad.
How are you, Carmen?
I'm good. Thank you for taking the call.
What's going on?
So I got married 6 months ago. I already filed for everything. I've received my work authorization, but I have been receiving abuse from my husband, emotional abuse where he has threatened to call ICE, to call USCIS, to end the process just because sometimes things don't go his way.
Right. He's basically he's asserting power over you.
Yeah.
That is your very typical extreme emotional abuse when you're dealing with an American filing for a non-American. Happens a lot. And that's extreme in many instances, and that's a VAWA case. That's a Violence Against Women's Act case. So if you're in that situation, we can certainly help you.
How can I prove, because I have his text messages where he says that he's going to end the marriage and he's going to call immigration. I have videos where he screams at me and he yells and
well, you have proof, and you're going to have your own testimony, and the immigration officer is going to review it for its credibility on how truthful you're being. But certainly we can help you as good lawyers. We can certainly help you. Now, you don't need to be in that. You don't need to be in that environment. You don't need to be in that situation. Certainly you can leave the marriage and be able to get a green card. So hold on, but before you do anything, let's talk and go through everything so you understand what you're doing. Okay? So hold on one second. Hold on. All right, let's go to Lynn in Baltimore, Maryland. Lynn.
Yes.
How are you?
I was on that good. I filed for my son he was 21 years old. When I just came to this country, I did not yet have my citizenship. I waited over until 7 years. I haven't heard anything from them. My son went and get married in 2000. And after he got married, I filled out some papers to let them know I'm now become a citizen.
Okay, now what happened?
And
What happened? Let me ask you a question. What happened first? Did he get married first, or did you become a citizen first?
Yeah, he get married.
Okay, so if he got married
that's
first, before you
after I filed for him, the first time, and I filed for him.
So let me explain what the law says. You file for him as a permanent resident. He then gets married. You then become a citizen. His case is denied, terminated. Once he marries before you became a citizen, that was the end of the case. So now you have to start from scratch again and refile for him.
Yes, I did it over in 2009.
Okay, great.
December 2009.
Okay.
And when I called, the other day I called there once before, and I heard that I was looking for maybe going to come to somewhere in 2010, 11, and somebody from there told me 2000, said I have 3 to 4 years. I think I was going to pass out.
Yeah, so let me, they're right now, right, one second.
Ever come to.
Let me tell you.
My son is over 40 years old.
So let me.
I'm listening.
Okay. So right now they're up to September 22nd, 2006. There's nothing that any human being can do to move this forward. There's 3 years, 4 years of waiting ahead of you still. Now, your son unfortunately did it to himself because he got married before his original case is over with. So there's nothing you can humanly do. You just unfortunately got to wait it out.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
But I thought they said they're not separate people. What makes it
They're separated?
So many years.
Are they separated now?
But they said they're not separate family. But this is
why do they separate family, you're asking me?
No, I heard they said they don't separate family. But to me, this is a separation.
They separate families all the time. What are you talking about? Why so long? Because it's a cruel process. It's a very cruel process to separate families like this. Your son's been waiting 20 years to come to America. It's cruel. It's why people sneak into the country. Because they don't want. They're tired of waiting.
They don't want to do what? Okay, yes. People keep in because they don't time.
I'm agreeing with you.
That is why people keep coming here.
Yeah, because there's no way to come legally. Because the waiting's so long and there's no way to come legally. But there's nothing anyone can do. You just got to wait it out, unfortunately. All right. So let's go to our social media check-in. But before we go to social media check-in, okay, let's recap our show.
Let's do it.
Okay. The only thing that really needs to be recapped is the share game.
The share game.
So this is the share game.
Yeah.
This is the share game. Every time I look at the wrong camera today.
And you know what's really funny is that it always takes you 2 to 3 seconds to kind of be like, wait.
This is the share game. I'm waiting to turn. This is the share game. So you hit 700 shares. You make 2 comments, and you will be in a video with Sam. You'll get picked for a video with Sam. Mm-hmm. Possibly. 1,000 shares. We're going to figure out how Jill violently kills me on live Facebook and YouTube.
There's a consensus. They want tickling. There is a consensus because once they realized that we were being absolutely serious about getting to 1,000 shares, all of them were like, "No punch, no punch!" Like Cordella literally tweeted the the chant. So.
And Marge Higgs says we're at 300 shares right now. Let's at least try to get to 700.
Absolutely.
We get to 700. We're going to pick 2 people who made at least 2 comments today. 2 people.
2 people.
2 people who made 2 comments today out of our bin on Monday.
Yeah.
To be in a Groundhog Sam video. Part of the video is we're going to unite the world. Sam is going to unite the world. They're going to introduce one squad member to another squad member, all in the same video. It's gonna be uniting the world.
My God, that sounds like a real production.
It will be a real production.
Okay.
I don't know how they're gonna do it.
Yeah. But they're.
Jill's gonna punch me right now.
She's gonna punch you whether we get to 1,000 shares or
not. All right, so let's get to our social media check-in.
Our first question is from Paula. And Paula says, I was charged with a misrepresentation of a felony back in 2000, which was not considered a crime of moral turpitude. Recently, the BIA has released a decision that misrepresentation of a felony is a crime of moral turpitude. Would that apply to me? I had a lot of anagrams.
I don't even understand the question. What's
Okay,
it?
I was charged with
What was she charged with?
misprision of a felony? Misrepresentation, I thought.
Misprison?
P-R-I-S-I-O-N.
That is a crime. Okay.
Misprison?
Yes, that is a crime.
What is misprison?
It's a good question.
Thanks.
I'm not a misprison of a felony definition. See what Google has to say about it.
What does Google say?
Google says misprison is the concealment of one's knowledge of a felony.
So she concealed a felony. She concealed the fact that she had a felony.
Yes.
So she was charged with that back in 2000, at the point where it was not considered.
What state was this in? I would need to actually see what the conviction was for that particular state.
Gotcha.
Right.
Natalie on YouTube says, hey, I married a U.S. citizen and I'm adjusting my status. I got a request for evidence for my I-864, initial evidence required. My husband is below 125%. Do my kids living in Jamaica as a part of the household here? I did not file for them.
They're only part of the household if they're dependents on your tax returns. If not, they would not be part of the household.
She also has a follow-up. Does a petitioner have to have 3-year tax returns even if their current income presently is sufficient or above that 125% level?
You submit the tax returns that you have.
Lorna said, hey, Brad, my friend Prince lives in Virginia, but he's from Jamaica, and he said he moved here in 2014 and was told that he had syphilis in his system. He needs to know if that's going to affect his filing.
Syphilis is curable like in 30 days with an antibiotic.
Right.
So unless he's walking around in pain for years, he should be okay by the time take an antibiotic.
Right.
So like, I don't know, like an amoxicillin or something.
Right,
You'll be fine in 10 days.
Not treated, and that starts to be a real problem. That used to kill people.
Yeah.
CS on YouTube says, Brad, if someone is currently awaiting a work permit but wants to register for school by the end of this month, could the person apply to go on a student visa? Because USCIS is just taking too long.
What are they waiting for?
They're waiting on their work permit, but they'd like to enroll in school, and so they'd like to just apply for a student visa.
No, you can't apply for a student visa. What, you think the student visa is going to be like 2 seconds while you're waiting on a work permit?
It does sound that way.
No.
Like you go in, you get your student visa while you wait for your work permit. Venus says, what's the approximate timing for the adjustment process after marriage to a citizen?
About 9 to 12 months.
Franklin said, how long after your interview does it take to get a visa to travel to the U.S.? And how long after getting to the U.S. can the immigrant travel internationally?
After you get your visa, you can travel to the U.S. the next day.
No, how long after your interview does it take to get the visa to travel?
What kind of visa is this?
This we don't know.
It depends. I mean, you could literally get a visa within 48 hours, or they can do more investigation, and everybody's different.
And so what they're at, and then their follow-up is, after I get to the U.S., can I travel internationally?
Is she talking about a green card?
I have a feeling like it's probably his green card.
As soon as you get to the United States with your green card, you could leave the next day.
Fantastic. We've also got some questions from Sam.
What about Instagram?
You know what? As I checked just about 10, 15 minutes ago, we didn't have anything on Instagram yet, but there's no telling.
What is our Instagram page, by the way? Maybe we should tell people about it.
Our Instagram is @BradShowLive, and we take questions and comments from there. And also, you get a really cool recap every single day in the stories.
Natalie Nichols says, I don't understand this share. I'm sharing and sharing, and the numbers are not moving.
Well, is that... No,
I don't. Why?
You guys need to refresh your page.
Or the cachet. Everyone always says cachet to me.
Do they?
Yes.
Yeah, you got to clear your cache.
Cash.
You got to clear your cache, but it is spelled like cachet. It's 318.
Clear your attache.
We're Brad and Bougie here today, folks. We just said the words attaché.
Yes.
Or if we want to get real bougie, attaché.
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 Yes. Oui, oui.
That's
Oui,
your
oui.
whole French vocabulary.
Oui, oui.
You speak more patois than you do French.
I don't know.
Oui, oui.
I don't know.
We've got a question from Sam who says, my husband has a green card but spent a year out of the country. Can he just come back without any issues? And if he can't, can you help me?
If he spent more than a year, he's going to have issues. So he may need to do what's called an SB1 visa. Go into the U.S. Embassy, wherever he is, and apply for a SB1 visa, which is a returning visa for someone who's overstayed with a green card out of the country for more than a year, and show your ties to America, such as a wife, such as cars, such as property, that you really didn't show, you didn't really intend to terminate your green card.
Bren on Instagram, we just got one in like the last 10 minutes.
Right.
Bren said, hey Brad, my cousin sent her green card adjustment, of status 2 years ago. She didn't hear anything from them until this year last month, where they requested more evidence and a new birthday. What does that mean, and what does she need to do?
Say that again.
So her cousin sent her green card adjustment of status in 2 years ago.
Right. You already have a problem if you're still waiting 2 years later.
Well, this year, last month, she got something that said, she got an RFE that said that we needed more evidence and a new birthday.
Not a new birthday, maybe a new birth certificate. And I'm not sure what evidence were they asking for.
It doesn't say.
Well, then follow the instructions, I would assume. And if you're not sure what their instructions are, then you should come see me. And I would also suggest that if you're waiting 2 years, you're screwing it up.
Right.
All in that.
And if they need more evidence, you're also screwing it up.
And I don't know what evidence they're asking for.
Right.
I mean, evidence can be a lot of things, you know?
You know what evidence I think we do have?
What?
That this person is not doing their green card application
That's right. Yes.
I think that's the evidence.
That is evidence of, you know what, you're screwing it up.
Yeah.
All right. So, by the way, I wanted to talk a little bit about Dr. Mona-Attisha.
Oh, yes.
Right, we have this book here, What the Eyes Don't See. A story of crisis, resistance, and hope in an American city. We started reading it today.
Yeah?
It's great.
It's fantastic.
I'm just going to read a couple of, we had her on for the second half. We had her on Wednesday. Erin Brockovich. Remember the woman they made the movie about?
Absolutely.
Here on the back, I'm just reading some of the, says it's one thing to point out a problem. It's another thing altogether to step up and work to fix it. Hanna-Attisha is a true American hero.
Wow.
And Michael Moore, who does all those documentaries.
Yeah, Fahrenheit 9/11.
Right. He wrote, she's an unlikely hero, a pediatrician who went up against the forces responsible for poisoning an American city, my hometown of Flint, Michigan. So we spoke to her the other day about what she did and how she discovered as a pediatrician lead poisoning in children caused by the intentional poisoning of the water by public officials in Flint, Michigan.
Yeah.
Poisoning people who lived in that town, and they knew about it. Yeah. They were intentionally doing it and did nothing to stop it. So this book, What the Eyes Don't See, landed on Oprah Winfrey's top books to read for this summer 2018. We had Dr. Mona-Attisha in the other day. We're going to watch a little recap from Wednesday, and we're going to finish our interview with her. It's an amazing story. Let's watch.
So this is a story about opening your eyes, about recognizing injustices no matter where they are, about being loud and stubborn and persistent, being an activist and being a resistor. And that's a lesson we all need right now. For about 17 months, Flint had switched their water source to the Flint River without treating it properly. It was missing corrosion control. Despite residents' complaints, they knew something was wrong. There was color, odor, taste issues. And how could the water not be okay? It's, who doesn't assume that when you turn on your tap, your water is not okay? Flint had lost democracy. We were under state-appointed emergency management, and the only focus was austerity to save money. So the voices of the citizens of Flint were being dismissed and denied throughout the story.
It went from one river to the other. Whose ultimate decision was that?
That decision was made by the emergency managers who report to the governor. So this was a state-driven decision. Without that treatment, the water was about 19 times more corrosive. It ate up our pipes. Lead from our pipes went into our drinking water and into the bodies of our children. It only would have cost $80 to $100 a day to add this proper treatment chemical that was not added. And the cost of our recovery thus far is close to $1 billion. And that is just the beginning of the investment that is needed to make Flint whole again. After every really concern by residents, by city officials, there was reassurances that the water is testing fine, that it meets compliance guidelines. My eyes were opened when a girlfriend of mine, who happens to be a drinking water expert, shared what she knew, which was that the water was not being treated with corrosion control, and thus we would have lead in the water. My life changed when I heard the word lead, because as a pediatrician, we know what lead does. It is a poison. It's an irreversible neurotoxin with no safe level. It impacts children's cognition, dropping IQ levels, impacts their behavior. It alters their entire life course trajectory. I knew I needed proof. So Mark Edwards, a scientist from Virginia, had come and done water testing of all of Flint, working hand in hand with the people of Flint, and had scientifically proven there was lead in the water. But he was also being dismissed and denied and attacked.
By who?
By the state. And what we discovered was an increase in the percentage of children's lead levels after the water switch. And I walked out of my clinic and I stepped into a press conference and shared that research. And just like everybody else in the story, we were also attacked. My science was attacked. My credibility was attacked. And the facts and the science were dismissed. When the entire state tells you you're wrong, it's hard not to believe them. But that lasted a few moments, and ultimately the kids put me back in this fight because I was fighting for their future. So lots of statistics really supported what we knew. And then after a few weeks, finally the state went back, looked at their data, and conceded. So ultimately, it was our science that spoke truth to power. But it is so much a story of hope, because what was happening in the water was threatening the tomorrows of all of our children. And from that moment on, my focus went to the preserving the tomorrows of those kids. Adults, especially elderly, contracted pneumonia and died. At least 12 confirmed deaths from Legionnaire's disease, and an overall uptick in pneumonia mortality. Because of that, state officials are actually charged with negligent homicide because of those deaths.
They killed people and told people it was safe to drink this water, and it wasn't. And I don't even know if it was negligent. It could have even been manslaughter. So even though you have fresh water coming from the Great Lakes, in 2018, 4 years after you expose this, nobody can drink the water in Flint still.
You're right. So we are replacing those lead pipes. When we complete that, and by 2020, we'll only be the third city in the country that's done that. But that takes time. And while that's happening, people need to continue taking precautions. The state ended bottled water supply, but there is a supply of filters for the next 2 years. We are treating everyone as if they were exposed, and thus giving them interventions like literacy programs, childcare, healthcare access, mental health support, home visiting, all of these things that science has proven to benefit children's development. Flint is a place that does not want to be remembered for this crisis, but rather for our innovative recovery. The book is available everywhere. Like you mentioned, it's on Oprah's summer reading list. But this book, like I mentioned earlier, is so much more than just about Flint. You know, it is ultimately about people, places, and problems all over that we choose not to see. It is also, like you alluded to, it's an immigrant story.
So she's really an incredible, incredible person. She was actually, Dr. Mona was actually listed in Time magazine as one of the 100 most influential people in the United States of America. I mean, really incredible, incredible person. What makes her even more incredible is the fact that she was born in the United Kingdom to Iraqi parents who eventually settled in Detroit, Michigan. We have a second part of the interview with Dr. Mona where she discusses what toxic stress is, why toxic stress in children causes problems throughout their entire life. And it's not just, getting lead poisoning. Toxic stress can come from everywhere. It could be being jailed at the border, and how that affects children for their entire life. And she also talks about her immigrant background, the fact that her parents were Chaldean. For those of you who don't know what Chaldeans are, those are Christian Iraqis. And they were persecuted by the regime of Saddam Hussein. They eventually, many of them immigrated to the United States of America. Detroit, Michigan has over 100,000 Chaldeans. I never even knew what a Chaldean was, but I went to University of Michigan. Many of my friends were Chaldean there. Wow. And she comes from Iraq, a country that is now being barred from anyone who was born in Iraq or has Iraqi citizenship is barred from entering the United States of America. If this bar was back then, Flint, Michigan would still be poisoned. Right. Let's watch.
I'm a first-generation immigrant. We came to this country when I was 4, very much for freedom, for opportunity, for democracy, for that American dream. And that was realized for me and my family. Lady Liberty opened her arms for me and my family. And that is not happening today for our children. So you have to wonder.
It's certainly not happening on the border right now, as we can see in the headlines. Now, how would you I would say there's a direct correlation between what happened to the children in Flint and what's happening to children on the border right now in terms of their emotional growth and their emotional stability. You want to talk a little bit about that, about what happens to children in stressful situations and what stresses children and how that affects them growing up? Because it was a stressful situation knowing you can't drink water or you may get sick, and it's a stressful situation being separated from your family.
Brad, you could be a pediatrician. You got it. So the same mechanism that is happening for the children at the border is what's happening in Flint. We call this toxic stress. This is probably the most important concept right now in pediatrics and public health. It is the recognition of early trauma, early life trauma on what happens to the lifelong development of children. It's the same thing as what's going on the border as in Flint. Children are rattled with so many toxic stresses from poverty, violence, separation of parents, incarcerated parents, lead poisoned water. All of these are toxicities. And they have they impact children's brains. We know the science. It impacts their nervous system, their genetics, their immune function. And children exposed to these toxic stresses without being buffered, without the positivity, will have lifelong scars.
So it's not enough, all right, for the U.S. government to separate children, give them this toxic stress for 4, 8, 12 weeks, maybe a year, because there's about 700 or 800 children who still haven't seen their family, and then say, okay, we gave you back to mom, we gave you back to dad, everything is good now. It's not good. They caused a lot of damage now. And nobody is and nobody is talking about, well, how are you going to fix the damage that you've caused?
Yeah, government-sanctioned child abuse is happening at the border. These children are going to need lifelong mental health therapy.
I agree with you very, very much. And the government's not doing anything about it, and there's not a lot of people talking up about it. They're just saying get them back with their family.
They need long-term treatment.
And there may be a lot of children who never see their family again.
Unbelievable that we did this.
Yes, it was disgusting. It was absolutely disgusting. And it's going on to this day.
Unbelievable.
And it doesn't stop anything. People were actually running for their lives. You don't cross over an entire continent on foot, okay? To come to try to sneak into another country if you're living okay back in that country. Running for their lives from abuse and violence and domestic violence, only to come and be abused a second time.
Exactly. So imagine the pre-existing toxic stress these kids already had, and this is on top of all of that.
So what is the scientific evidence of that? If these kids are not treated with very good mental health professionals and mental health treatments, They're put back together with. How are these kids? What's the scientific evidence that how are they going to function as adults?
Yeah, so the treatment is being buffered by a supportive caregiver in your lives. So reunification is number one. They need supportive parents, caregivers to buffer these toxicities. If they are not properly treated, we know that they will then engage in, they'll have developmental delays, things like bedwetting, anxiety issues, depression issues, mental health issues, increased risk-taking behaviors, substance abuse, higher likelihood of chronic diseases, and actually a decreased mortality. Years will be cut off of their lives if this is not treated properly.
Now, you're so passionate about what's going on in the United States of America and democracy and treating people fairly. You weren't even born in America. You touched on it a little bit before. You were born in England. You're from Iraqi descent. You are Chaldean. For those who maybe you know more about your culture than me, I'll tell you what I know. You are Christian Catholics, but of Arab Iraqi descent. How did your family come to America? What did they come on a visa? Did they apply for asylum? How did you get to America?
Yeah, so I was born in England. My father was completing his PhD. The plan was to go back to Baghdad. That's where home is. That's where family is. Arabic was my first language. However, that's when Saddam Hussein was rising in power. And very quickly, we saw his tyranny, his fascism, his dictatorship, his silencing of the media, his attacks on vulnerable populations. And my parents knew that they could not go back home with two small children. So we immigrated to the States. My father then did a postdoc. It was an education visa initially, continuing his research in metallurgical engineering. And then he eventually got a job with General Motors, and we settled in Michigan for 30 plus years.
How were the Chaldeans treated by Saddam Hussein? Why couldn't you go back?
We couldn't go back because my parents were leftists. They were progressives. My father was slated to work at a nuclear plant, and he did not want his science to go to support a Ba'athist regime. It's not because we were Chaldean. It's more because we were human, and they knew what he was doing to people.
So have you ever been back to Iraq? You've never gone. Do you have a desire to go?
No. I would love to go. I would love to go.
So would you like to bring your children one day?
I would love to. I would love to be. My kids have been just like I was raised, very much knowing where we came from.
Do you teach your children about Iraq, about what you know about Iraq, your parents?
Absolutely. And that's the purpose of this book, is to share those stories, to share the stories of this once beautiful country that has been really decimated, that has gone into really a bloody spiral over the last 30 years, but also to kind of share the stories that I grew up with, that I was never shielded from, and to know that my kids came from a place that had a tremendous history and tremendous culture and still does to this day.
How old are your children right now?
They're 9 and 12.
So what do you teach a 9-year-old and a 12-year-old about democracy in America? Because these could have been your children living in Flint. And while your children were 4, 5, 6 years old, you were changing the trajectory of an entire population. You yourself, an immigrant from the Middle East, from a country of Iraq that President Trump doesn't want anybody to come from. He says, no one from Iraq. And here you are, an immigrant, and you have potentially saved the lives of hundreds of thousands of people. What do you teach? And your children were 4 or 5 years old when you were doing this, and you're still doing it to this day. What do you teach your children about democracy, about standing up for your rights, about government transparency? How do you teach your children about this and right from wrong?
Yeah, and that is the lesson of the book, and that's kind of why I wrote this book, and that's why the immigrant part was in this book, because the lens that I see the world as an immigrant is somebody who is every day grateful to be in this country. Every day I wake up lucky to be in America. But it is also a lens that acutely knows what injustice is and what people in power can do to vulnerable populations, and how important it is to be in a democratically free society. And so those are the lessons that I teach my children. And no matter where you are, you work for justice. It's being part of this borderless cause. It's not about race, religion, or country. It is about service and justice and fighting for those no matter where you are.
And how do you, as an activist, deal with the political climate today? You have a president who by all accounts has lied to the American people more than every politician lies at some level, but he's brought the word lie to a new art form, and who lies about almost everything that's going on in politics in Washington, in international, national politics. How do you as an activist deal with this now, moving on, seeing what's going on the national level with dealing with politicians who lied and tried to kill a city, and now you have, by all accounts, a president who's lying and killing America?
Yeah, so that's why this book is so relevant, because the crisis in Flint is just like what is happening in our nation. It is about the loss of that American dream. It's about the loss of democracy. It's a focus on austerity. It's a targeting of vulnerable populations. But it's also about how I, to this day, continue to stand up, to speak out, and to fight for these issues. And that is more important now than it ever has been. It's also a story about science, how science ultimately spoke truth to power. And we are seeing an attack on science right now. So my voice, my activism has only increased and will continue to increase. And my constituency that I report to are children. So I will work with any administration, anybody in power, to make sure that our children are served.
Dr. Mona, I got one last question for you, because I've taken a lot of your time up, but we always ask this of everybody, because this is a show about trying to help people pursue the American dream. Everybody has different thought of what their American dream is, and what an American dream is just, your what you want to be in life, how you want to see society. What is your individual American dream? Have you reached it? And what is your societal American dream?
I have absolutely been blessed and privileged to achieve that American dream. That was realized for me and my family. But for the kids that I take care of here in Flint, they wake up to a nightmare. And that is not right. There are absolutely two Americas. There are some American dreams that are impossible for some children in certain zip codes. And I want to see a world where everybody wakes up to that same opportunity to achieve that American dream.
Well, it's amazing. Amazing story. You did an amazing job. If you do nothing else in life, you changed the world. You made the world better from your work. You changed the lives of so many people. It's an amazing story. You're an amazing human being. Congratulations on your book.
Thank you, Brad.
I hope it's going to be a great success for you. Dr. Mona, Hanna-Attisha, my fellow University of Michigan alum.
Yeah, go blue.
Go blue. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Brad. It's great to be with you.
Appreciate it. All right, Dr. Mona, Hanna-Attisha, great story.
What a hero.
I love that interview. And I'm just watching here also on Facebook, and I'm seeing a lot of people giving up. We don't give up here, Brad Squad.
Yeah.
I mean, you are more than halfway there.
You got this.
Okay, and Facebook doesn't count at the exact moment you share. They are delayed a little bit.
Yep.
There is a delay, so don't get overly frustrated that, I just shared 3 times or 4 times and nothing has changed. It will appear. I promise you. They will count it eventually. Maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
But you will all be counted in the sharing.
Yes.
We are almost there.
We are
700 shares, and you're going to be with Groundhog Sam.
That's
I don't
right.
know if we're going to reach 1,000 where I'm going to get punched in the face. Thank God.
Tickled.
Or tickled.
Tickled.
All right. But certainly we are in reach of 700.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's doable.
And there's lots of people who made 2 comments. And you will all, and maybe at least 50, 60 people are going to get a chance on Monday to appear with Groundhog Sam and be part of Bradshaw Live. Not just be in the comments, but be in the show.
Absolutely.
So come on, you can do it.
You got this, you guys.
You can do it.
Share.
You can do it. We need that guy from the Adam Sandler movies, Rob Schneider. Go, you can do it.
You can.
Waterboy, you can, but he's been in every movie saying
he
it.
has been in
Rob
every
Schneider,
Happy Madison.
in every Adam Sandler movie. He like pops up somewhere and goes, "You can do it.
Typically as like a janitor or
Yes,
some like
exactly.
rando dude.
Exactly. Come on, you can do it.
He was really never able to really strike out on his own, was
No,
he?
no, but
Without
he has a
you
great
can do
line.
it.
You can do it.
It is.
Come on, Brad Squad, you can do it.
You can do it.
All right. Tamika, it will reach there. I promise you. If you did it, you will reach there.
You got this.
You got this.
Just don't give up. Just don't give up. Keep going, squad.
All right, let's go to Vivian in Kingston, Jamaica. Vivian. Vivian.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello, good evening.
How are you doing?
I'm not bad.
What's going on?
Yes, I need to get some information. In 2014, my father started to file for me.
Okay.
And at one point, he called me and told me that I should go to the embassy and have the DNA done up and sent up to him.
Okay.
And then he would have done his own and sent it in to the place that was doing it.
Right.
I actually did that. And then he called me back to say, I am not his child.
Mm-hmm.
But after that was done, he appealed the application. But after the appeal...
Unfortunately, there is no law that says, I thought I was the father, I'm not, and I raised this child as if I was the biological father, but she's not. There's no such law as that, unfortunately. You either are or are not the biological father, and blood doesn't lie. DNA is DNA. So unfortunately, if he's not your father, the law doesn't take that into account.
My only concern is that I did not know him all along. So when he met me, his wife and some of his children did not want to accept me. Right? And then after that, this was done. And the concern I have, why, if he was convinced that he was not my child, why would he appeal?
I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know what's going through the guy's mind. But there's nothing, in other words, the only thing that you can do is argue that the blood test was wrong. They screwed up the blood test somewhere. Somewhere in the lab, they mixed up the blood, and that's why this test result came out this way. So maybe you want to do a private blood test with him and double check the results. But short of that, in other words, there's no appeal. In other words, there's nothing to appeal. Appeal says you got it wrong. But the DNA says you're not father-daughter, so there's nothing to appeal. So the only thing you could, and unfortunately, you're not the first person to ever call me with this issue. Okay, but the only thing you can do is you could say, you know what, I truly believe I'm the daughter. And if you truly believe you're the daughter, then just go take a private, outside of immigration, don't go file again or anything. Go privately, go take another blood test and see what that blood test comes back with. And it's very easy, actually. You know, you can go to 23andMe for $59 and you spit in a little tube and send it in. He can spit in a little tube and send it in, and you can see if afterwards if you guys are related. It's very simple to do.
The unfortunate situation, though, that I face now is that he's deceased, but his son is saying that he would be willing to do a test to see.
Well, then, so go do it with the son. But there's not a lot you can do, unfortunately, now.
Okay.
All right. But so if he's deceased, he won't be able to refile for you. So it's kind of like, when he dies, it's kind of like the whole thing dies.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right. Now, that doesn't mean you can never get a green card or never get a visa. It just means you're not going to do it through your deceased dad, or perhaps dad. So maybe
was not my concern.
So what's your concern?
Part of it wasn't really the concern, and it's a concern to know what I could do, because I really wanted to know
whether
who is my real father.
Okay.
So I wanted to know.
So then I'll tell you the easiest thing to do is you go to 23andme.com and they send you a little tube. You spit in it for $39. Your brother spits in it for $39. You send it in, and you'll see if you're related. It's very simple.
Okay.
All right. Of course, you're under $100. 23andMe. I did it with my kids. My kids found out that I am the father.
You are the father.
They knew it all along, but we had a joke. Yes. Okay. So yeah. All right.
Okay then.
All right. Do it. It's
I
the
thank
cheapest
you
way to
so
do
much.
it. You're welcome. Best of luck.
Okay.
All right.
Have a good evening.
You're welcome.
No.
All right. All right, let's go to Donna in Kissimmee, Florida. Kissimmee, Florida. That's home of Walt Disney World. Is that true, Donna? We don't have Donna. Donna.
She's having too much fun at Disney.
Donna.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
You are in Kissimmee, Florida. Nope. No, she's not. Let's try one more time. Why did they do that?
I don't know.
Why would they do that?
I don't know.
Why would they do that?
I don't know. I love Kissimmee, Florida.
I like Kissimmee, Florida, too. It's the home of Walt Disney World.
That's true.
Why
right
would they
next
do
to
that?
it.
Correct. I don't know why they would do that.
I don't know.
They put her on hold.
They put her on hold.
They put her on hold.
But
all right, let's go to your social media questions.
okay, not a problem at all. We've got one question from Azaroth who said, "Hey, Brad and Kim, can somebody with a TN visa adjust their status through job sponsorship? It was an EB3 I-140 approved."
As long as you're in legal status, absolutely. Why not?
I
All right, and we have Donna back.
Yay!
Donna in Kissimmee,
Yes,
Florida.
Brad.
How are you,
I'm
my
here.
dear? How are you?
What's up?
What's up? Are you at the Magic Kingdom right now?
I wish.
You wish. I wish too. All right, what's going on? What's
Quick
going on?
question. I have a question for you.
Yes.
I've already given her your number, but I need to find out first. My friend, she's from Haiti. She didn't came here legally, like, we take the plane and everything like that. She didn't came here like that, but now she got married to an American citizen, and she have a child for him. So she want to know if she could just go ahead and put her papers in.
They can, but she's not going to be able.
Need an attorney.
She's going to need an attorney because she's not going to be able to adjust here. She's going to need to do a provisional waiver, go home, and come back. So she's definitely.
That's what she worried about.
Yeah. That's what.
If she's going to spend so much money and she still have to go home, what's the purpose?
The purpose is you get a green card. It's better than being illegal in a country run by Donald Trump.
But you're still going to have to go home?
For 2 weeks. That's a big deal.
Oh, for 2 weeks?
Yeah, hold on. Hold on, Donna. We'll help you. All right, let's go to Yaya in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, maybe related to Yo-Yo. Let's find out. Yaya, how are you?
Hello, Brad. How are you?
Good. What's going on? What's going on?
First time I'm calling I kind of love your show and I watch it all the time.
Thank you.
I'm
Where you from?
Addicted.
Where you from? He's addicted to the show.
You tell me since you know and a lot of accents.
Ah. You sound, I would say, I'm going to say Indonesia.
Oh, that's too far. I'm from Africa, from East Africa.
Oh,
from
East
Somalia.
Africa. Okay, Somalia.
I'm maybe the first caller that's calling from Somalia.
Yes, I do not get a lot of Somalis.
That's true.
Right, I am not familiar with that, all right? But I took a
Yeah,
guess.
okay.
All right, so what's going on?
Okay, I have I got a TPS on. I want to and apply for advanced parole, but I have also a removal order under me.
Then you can't do advanced parole.
What do you think?
You can't do advanced parole because if you do advanced parole, you would self-deport. All right? So you can't do it. Why do you have a removal order?
Because my asylum case got denied.
Okay, now so you got a bigger problem than advanced parole. You don't want to get picked up and you don't have withholding of removal or anything. You're living here under a warrant of arrest.
No, but
Why?
I have also and withholding of removal.
Oh, you have withholding of removal. Yeah, you would not be able to do advanced parole because if you left, you would not come back. You would have self-deported.
Okay, thank you so much,
right.
Brad.
Okay. All right. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Also, I love your interviews.
Oh,
they
thank
are
you.
just off the shop.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay,
I appreciate
thank
it,
you, sir.
Yaya. And by the way, I gotta talk to me for about 30 more seconds, Yaya, so I can get the Somalian accent, and then I will know for future reference. All right. What do you do out there in Milwaukee, Wisconsin?
I drive a truck. I'm a truck driver.
You're a truck driver.
Yeah, while I'm on the road, I watch you all the time, like all your shows, like
thank you.
from kind of. But it is the first time that, and I'm calling. I'm so glad that and I'm talking to you.
Yeah. Well, I don't know why you didn't get. I guess I'm not sure why you got denied the asylum, but you got the withholding. The only thing I can suggest to you would be, if you want, we can have a consultation. I can get your records to see if there's any way we could reopen your case to try to get you a green card. But right now, you would not be able to travel.
And I'm married to a USC.
That's that's maybe a way to do it. So that's a way to do it. So let's see if we can try. You know, it'd be a process, and the process would be you would have a consultation with me, and then I would request your records from the court, and then I would review it and see if there's a possibility that we can reopen your case to allow you to adjust your status through your wife, and then you can get advanced parole and a green card because your deportation case has been reopened. You're not here under an order of deportation. You're adjusting through your wife. Then you can do the advanced parole. See, it's good that we kept him on, right?
On if I may know, and how much you charge?
Oh, I don't know what we would charge yet. We would have to have that consultation and figure it out. So hold on 1 second, okay?
Thank you.
Hold on. Jeff Bosey said he sounds like Russian Dracula. No, he doesn't sound like Russian Dracula, Jeff. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, Dracula is already Eastern European. Dracula by himself sounds.
Yeah. I was in when I was in Romania. They have the Bank of Transylvania.
I was gonna say that's Transylvania country.
And what was weird about the Bank of Transylvania in Romania?
Yeah.
That they were only open in the evening.
That is really weird.
Why?
Did they have any crucifixes anywhere?
I don't know. I didn't walk in because it was scary to me.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea.
Right, but they were open in the evening. During the day they were closed.
That sounds sketchy.
Yes.
That sounds like a sketchy bank.
Right. You can only make deposits
at night.
At night.
It's either
It's true.
There is
a true Bank of Transylvania, but I'm making that up.
I was going to say, but it's not really open at night.
They were open during the day. They were closed at night.
Weird.
But there is a true Bank of Transylvania.
It would be weird if they were just a normal bank that was really like leaning all the way into the Transylvanian
Wouldn't that be
theme?
weird if they were open only in the evening?
Right. Have like coffins everywhere.
And they have in Romania, they have the Dracula Castle, which is in Brasov, Romania, or somewhere near Brasov in the mountains of Romania. I never went there because it was scary to me.
Yeah.
And I was told it's not really a big deal to see Dracula's castle.
Right, because it's just like Vlad the Impaler's castle. It's a castle.
But it does exist.
And it gives you the heebie-jeebies a little bit.
It does give you a little heebie-jeebies.
I get that.
Let's go to Lulu in Forest City. Did we speak to Lulu the other day? Or more than one person calling us now from Forest City?
Many Lulus in Forest City.
I don't know, Lulu, have we spoken to you before?
Yes.
Yes, I was going to say, I said, how many people can be calling me from Forest City? Right?
No, I just need to get a clear understanding of what you told me yesterday, because what happened, I have two decisions to make, right? So I want to know what's my best option, if to consult a lawyer, because as I said, I was granted voluntary departure, and I did ask you if my boyfriend gets married to me here, if it's a chance that I can still stay.
You have to reopen the case first, correct?
Okay.
All right, so the process, it's a process. And the process is to review your records, file an I-130, and make a joint motion to reopen your case. And keep your fingers crossed.
Okay, because I don't have much time. I have to leave by next month.
Okay, so then you better do it really right now, fast. Get married immediately, and let's try to reopen before 120 days of your voluntary departure order.
Okay, all right. And one other thing before you go. If I'm to do it, stay as a voluntary departure, and my fiance comes to my country and marry me, how soon, and then he comes up and starts doing the paperwork, how soon will I be able to come back to the U.S.?
Have you overstayed your time here?
I did, just about a few months. I came in 2016.
And when were you put in removal?
I'm supposed to leave like the 23rd of February.
How much of a time period between the time you overstayed and the time they gave you an NTA, a notice to appear?
Oh, okay.
it's about, because I just got a notice for the removal. I was basically at a center, in a detention center. So I got the bond and everything, but because I cannot come up with it, the judge said she has no choice but to grant me the voluntary departure.
All right, because if there was more than 180 days between your overstay and the time, then you have a bar. I would suggest this, Lulu, before you do it, go get married quickly and have a consultation with me Monday.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
All right. So with that being said, Kim, we're going to pray right now. Okay. All right. We have, I earlier in the week, we've been wanting to run this all week, and every time we try to run it, we get a little frozen.
Right.
You remember?
Much like Elsa.
Like Elsa.
And we can't let it go.
Right. So earlier in the week, I had talked with Carmela Waldron, who's our managing attorney of our tax department.
Yep.
Along with Paul Hirsch, who's our managing attorney of our criminal defense department, about the Paul Manafort trial.
Right.
And that's where kind of tax and criminal defense kind of merge. Let's see if we can play this. The tax fraud case against former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort, it's in its 7th day in United States District Court in Alexandria, Virginia. This is the first case to be tried by special counsel Robert Mueller. It's focusing on Manafort's business dealings prior to him joining the Trump team as campaign manager. Here to discuss the trial, break it down, because it is a tax fraud and a criminal case. It is very serious offense. We have our fantastic managing attorney of our tax department, Carmela Waldron, and our managing attorney of our criminal defense department, equally as fantastic, Paul Hirsch. Paul, Carmela, welcome.
Thank you.
So Carmela, let's break this down. He is being charged with tax fraud. What is tax fraud?
Underreporting your income to the IRS.
So, Paul, what would be the charges if you're underreporting income to the IRS? What would be the charges brought against you?
It's a 32-count indictment, and it stems from hiding or evading taxes on about $30 million in overseas income.
So, Carmela, let me ask you a question. He's being charged or being accused of hiding more than $30 million in income internationally. What are the rules for declaring income? Because we have a lot of people who live in America and are immigrants and get income from all over the world. What are the rules for declaring income if you are a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident? If you earn income in another country, what are the rules for declaring that income in the United States on your tax return?
Sure. Under the FBAR rules, if you have more than $10,000 in a foreign bank account anytime during the year, you must report that to the IRS.
So is he being charged or being accused of anything else other than the $30 million that he refused or that he neglected or purposely refused, intentionally refused to declare on his taxes?
Well, he's also charged with tax fraud because he vastly underreported his income.
So those are two different separate charges, Paul. Is that correct?
Yes, there's many charges. Not only those, but also for lying to banks in order to get loans.
So that's why you get one indictment and multiple charges.
Correct,
Is that correct?
correct.
And the indictment would be just one. Tell us what an indictment is versus what charges are.
Sure.
Because some people don't know.
Sure. An indictment is what the government brings forth and charges you with a crime.
Right.
And in that indictment is the separate and distinct charges that the government accuses you of doing.
So what is he looking at? If he's been indicted in Virginia, he's looking at multiple charges against him. If he is found guilty on all charges, how long is he going to jail for?
Decades.
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 Basically, he's going to die in jail.
Decades, unless he lives to about 100, yes. He's facing decades and financial penalties.
Right, so I guess he's in his 40s or 50s. Yeah, I mean, decades would be 20, 30 years in jail.
Somewhere in that range,
Right,
yes.
so the rest of his life basically in jail.
It certainly seems
So
that way.
they've brought out the accountant who got immunity, and the accountant said that Manafort was cooking the books. They brought out Gates, who was his partner and deputy campaign manager of the Trump campaign. He also got immunity. He also pled guilty to criminal charges, and he's being cross-examined about what his involvement is in the scheme that he pled guilty to, as well as some other extramarital affairs that he may or may not have had with other women while he was married. Why, as a defense attorney, would Manafort's attorneys be doing this, and how do you think this is all going to play out?
Well, they're attacking not only what happened, but this individual's credibility. If they can destroy his credibility to the jurors, they may not believe Gates. They may not believe when he says that Manafort colluded with him and told him to do X, Y, and Z. They may conclude that Gates did it on his own.
So what do the prosecutors have? What is the burden that the prosecutors have to reach to prove their case?
Well, each count has separate and distinct elements. They have to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. That's the standard in a criminal prosecution, whether federal or state. It's a high standard, as it should be. And the district attorney's office has to prove every element of every charge beyond a reasonable doubt.
Why would the U.S. attorney be carrying on about his $15,000 leather jacket that we read about in the news all the time, all his fancy suits? Is that just to paint him as a bad guy? What is the purpose of that he bought a brownstone in Brooklyn for $3 million in cash? What is the purpose of doing that from the U.S. attorney's perspective?
Well, because on his taxes, he claimed he made X amount of money. And based on his purchases, his lifestyle, you can't possibly purchase those items if you made as little money as he claimed in his tax return.
Well, a $15,000. We'll play it again on Monday. We got about halfway through. Thank God I'm still sitting here.
Yeah, we were about to pack it up and go,
That's
y'all.
right. So we got as far as the $15,000 coat.
And now I'm on pins and needles.
And as Jill said, oh shit. But it's Friday at 7:30. We don't know actually what happened. All of a sudden our interview kind of went dead, but we're back, and we are towards the end of our show. Where are we at with our shares? We'll play that on Monday again, and we'll see the whole thing on Monday.
Absolutely. So our shares right now, they keep going up. They're at 377, but it does not look too good.
Now, apparently, they believe that Facebook doesn't keep the right records.
They do think that.
They do that. Well, you know what? We will look later on. It may be.
Yeah.
If we look like in an hour or so, maybe it'll be up to 400 or 500 shares.
Right.
We don't know.
What would happen? Let's say we check tonight, we refresh, and one of us sends the other a midnight text message that says, "Oh my God, we're at 1,000 shares."
I'll tell you what.
Tell me.
I will speak to you, Belgium Kim, at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yay.
Kim!
Kim!
Kim, you up? Say yes. Why are you screaming? Because we reached 700 shares, Kim. We will allow this share game to continue.
Wow.
Till 11 p.m. in the evening.
11 p.m. That's a good one.
If we hit 700 shares by 11 p.m., we will put 2 people who made comments into Sam's video. If we reach 1,000, Jill will come over to my apartment at midnight.
11 p.m.
At midnight, because it'll be 11. It'll take her at least an hour to get there from Brooklyn. She lives in Brooklyn. I'm in Manhattan.
With a camera crew.
Right. And get me out of bed and give me a whooping.
Oh, God.
It's not even a punch anymore. It's like a full whooping.
A full whooping. Just going to show up with a belt.
A full whooping.
Now, is she going to be nice? Is she going to let you pick your own switch?
No. It's just going to be a full whooping.
Wow. That is pretty savage.
Yeah, savage.
Burke just said, "Nah, Brad, you better call Tamika." And you know what? I second that. I would prefer you call Tamika.
Yes. All right. So, or maybe I should do. Cordella once told me that she was going to tie me down and shave me with a broken bottle.
Yeah.
That could be better than a whooping.
Cordella, I'll have you know that scarred Brad so deeply.
I'll never forget
we
that.
We talk about that pretty frequently.
We do. We're like, remember when Cordella wanted to tie me down and shave me with a broken bottle?
Yeah, we also use it as a threat, like, careful or I'll tie you down and shave you with a broken bottle.
We do. We love Cordella.
We love Cordella so much.
All right, comments of the day.
Can I squeeze in this last social media question? He's been trying real hard. Marva said, "What are the procedures if a citizen wants to file for a child over 21 who's already living here?"
file an I-130. You're going to wait 7 years, then do a provisional waiver. Child's going to go home and come back.
See, fantastic news. I'm glad I asked it. Okay, and for comments of the day, we have a whopping 5. So get ready. Our first comment is from Carol Anderson, the Tiger. And Carol Anderson said, "You will be my #1 lawyer forever, love. Love you, Brad. You help so many people for 25 years.
I love that.
Wow. Well
I love
done.
that. I love that.
I know. See, 25 years
By,
down.
by the way, who's a bully?
Who's a bully?
I don't know. Who's a bully? He hurts people's feelings. You can share your thoughts, not like that. Oh, okay.
Oh, Rock J's bullying Groundhog Sam.
No. We don't go for bullies here.
Yeah, he's defenseless, Rock J.
He's a little furry thing.
He's a little critter. Who's so
That's
cute.
right.
Our second comment of the
Yes.
day is from YouTube.
Yes.
And in 1968, Maxwell won. So 1968, 10 years after the founding of Spar Bernstein, said, "Hey, Brad, love your show, even though I don't have any issues with immigration. Keep the information flowing."
Thank you. I will. I will. Thank you very much.
Jeff Bosey said, "Oh, I'll share like a bandit for a tickle. It would be great to hear a girly, 'Stop tickling me!'" I stand with Jeff on this. He's not amused. I am. You would though, Brad, wouldn't you? Everybody has to girly scream when we're getting tickled. How can you be stay manly when you get tickled? Share 1,000 times and we'll find out, you guys.
When I get tickled, you will see this face.
That's your tickle face? Oof, Brad, the urge, it's so strong. It's so strong. It's so strong. I want you guys and share 1,000 times. And then finally, we've got Lisa Bling Rose raging against the machine. She said, "Okay, everyone, I'm going to call FB right now."
Exactly. When you get FB on the phone, you conferences in.
Mr. Facebook, what the hell is going on?
When you get it, you let me know because I want to speak to Mr. Facebook too.
We too. Yeah, I was just.
We all want to speak to Mr. Facebook. All right, everybody, have a great weekend. Enjoy. Hopefully, we get all our technical issues resolved. Unfortunately, we did not get to 700 shares today, but we will have a new contest for you all on Monday. Have a safe weekend. We'll be back Monday, 5:30. Enjoy. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAWLINK. 1-800-529-5465. What are you doing?